Alright, well, hello, again. So, yesterday, where we last left off, apparently, Muko Igasaba was killed, who was apparently the 16th student hired in school. Hello. But yeah, Muko Igasaba was killed, so now we gotta find out who done it. And Kyoko was missing the whole entire time, which is very strange. Yeah, I could wear like most most of the bullets, but I'm gonna like go do it one more time, cause that's what I usually do. Alright, now who'll find out 5. Oh really? Hold up, okay. I'll keep the voice up, but I'll turn the BGM down a little bit. Actually, let me even find, I think this is the FX now. I still want the body to be at this, that way, you like still see that, you still hear them when they're talking. Alright. Anyway, what was I? Oh yeah. Alright, Malcolm number 5. Due to explosives, the big thing is unknown. They are dead before the blast. The victim been stabbed a single time with a knife, which was completely through the body. The other bitch stuck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but they were at least several days old. Ew. The explosion will find out this. The explosion burnt the upper half of the body beyond recognition. The other half of the body remained on fire had to be extinguished because this the upper half was soaking wet while the bottom half remained dry. And the fake nails were, what can I say, the body was fake nails. The body had tattooed a dog in the back of the right hand. Back near the dead body. The official chart raised near the body. It should be known that Bob, which was having been removed from Malcolm in the gym, disappeared. It's hard to imagine these two events are unrelated. The sprinkler. The spill programs are coming on AM1 at 7:30, and this time is a time of the hospital change. As such, it can be assured that if the body had been in the guard before 7:30, it would have gotten wet. See, so when the body was found, 7 AM, McCall wakes the morning outfit. 7:30, McCall Arya in the dining hall. 7:30 to 9 AM, McCall reads the usher gym and the girl they headed him out the room. 9 AM, Togo finds the take catch the guard, which is goes to the body. Might be important later on. When found near the body was the same knife that was used to stab before the explosion. It was the same that Toga gave it to Makoto but said keep it, and a knife that Master Silo was holding when they were attacked Makoto. Alright, the tar. The tar was hidden among the other sides of the tool shed. One side was wet and filthy with muddy grim. The other side was completely clean and dry. Alright. Coop's chickens. The other table increased from 5 to 4. Yoshihiro claims that there were about 5 chickens before nighttime last night, and yes, only 4. Y'all get the count. Miyake stated there was no corpse in the garden just after nighttime last night, so it can be sure the murder must have taken place sometime after that. Big O said that he, Yoshihiro, Toge, and Aoi were also in jail the entire night, and none of them were alone at any point. Which leaves Makoto about an alibi. By a foot explosion, the corpse had a mask covering his head and a white jacket covering the body. The knife had been thrust to the abdomen, and there were blood stains around the wound. The blood stopped bleeding, but the blood was still wet. It's known, however, that there was no blood on the ground behind the body. Uesaba's profile. Almost an officer soldier. She came access for the military from a young age. She appeared on vacation a year and reappeared in Japan 3 years later. Apparently, Anime and a freshman year get a tattoo somewhere in the body and represent their membership in the group. Maku's account. Apparently, the killing game with 16 participants, all students. It appears that Mukuro was found as 16th student. Mukuro also revealed that Kyoko is wearing gloves to hide herself things he doesn't want anyone to see. Alright, Woodblock key. The Woodblock is a way to find Kyoko's boot. It looked like I see the key to one of the lockers in the dojo. Containing arrows. A set of arrows found in the dojo locker. There appear to be 10 in total. Like tuck tape. along the area there was also a wild ball of duct tape in the locker. The leather had traces of blood on it. It assumed that this was related to the case, but no one can imagine how. Here's Kyoko's account. Kyoko gives Raku a secret tool which grants any access to the room, taking it to the second floor of the dorms. This area seems to have no monitors or security cameras. Alright. How do I go on that? It's time to flex my one brain cell once again.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No,
exactly.
that's a ghost!
He's still going with that?
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
Somebody slap him, please.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
I got it!
Yeah, gloves, alright.
I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Yep.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
It's the way I close with Kyoko. I can't prove why we're going stuck in a case of before. So, just got this dude to him because he just can't get off of it. Like, at all.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Shit, I messed up. That's on me.
Shoot! That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a
The
ghost.
dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing, because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
Shit, I can't remember like which one I was supposed to go for. Alright.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the...
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong.
I guess the fake makes sense now.
No. There's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, They were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides,
Yeah.
Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails. Don't you think?
Jeez,
True.
man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Got a good
Well,
point.
Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
True.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
True. Oh yeah, I did not think so. Yeah, things start from here. Start from there. Alright. Alright, let's see what we can do here.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right? If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do,
shoot.
right?
Alright.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma... Well, if we can't identify the body...
No, that's wrong.
So there's still a tattoo.
There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real? If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Shut up.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
What's like the
Her
wolf?
master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
I got it!
Yep, right here.
The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
Alright. It's pretty obvious. Give me that W.
Now I understand.
Easy.
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man!
Interesting.
After all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
No.
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It
No.
means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier.
Yep.
If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
Then who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character, which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Okay.
Ooh.
We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine.
Boy.
Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this, no matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer
Okay,
that
we
point
get it.
straight into your big old brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope. There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
I got it!
With me and
You've narrowed
Kyoko.
it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right.
Yeah.
The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis.
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
Exactly
Makes
so.
sense. Oh, Kyoko. Damn, I killed this dance. Oh, I had to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at, well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
I got it!
Five.
The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m. since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Yeah. Right there and there.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
True. So yes, he does. It takes like hour in that period. That's the word they have in the title have alibi. Alright, here we go.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Yeah,
We've established a time frame for the murder.
It took place somewhere between 10 and 9 o'clock.
In the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have...
Yeah, from 10 to 7:30.
What? Oh, come on, you gotta be shitting me. I could swear that's bring over to one. Ah.
We've
Okay,
established
fine,
a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time. We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night
It was like
and 9
the
o'clock in the
7:30
morning.
thing.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time. We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night
I can even do that. Fuck.
and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto...
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night
Here we go.
No, that's wrong. Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on! I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
No,
You.
I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean by denying the sprinkler? Are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Girl, you need...
You're totally wacko.
If you really
Goodness.
think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
It was a spray I got the body wet.
admit nothing. No! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I'm right about this. I admit nothing. No! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me?
Take 5 so I can like focus.
I admit nothing. I'm right about this. How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
Oh fuck. Shit.
I admit nothing. No! That's enough!
Okay, let's try it again.
How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
Why did I didn't even mean to do that. Are you kidding me?
I'm right about this. I hate you. I don't know anything.
Okay, please.
How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
This should prove it.
There. God damn. Like, I
Just
knew what I
remember
was
what the
doing. I just
body
ended
was
up
like
pressing the button by
after the
accident.
explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
True.
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's
Same.
just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which
Yep.
means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
That's all about alibi. Which means because killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone?
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me?
Yeah.
Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway,
Well,
Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
how?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
Oh, the tarp. She's right. Damn. Okay.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water. In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
How can you go say that? Or what you want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That's hard. You used the way Kyoko said. That time to touch the body, right? But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't want to kill the motivation. If I don't do something, everyone's going to think I'm the killer. I have to feel what Kyoko said.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
I think we had the tarp somewhere.
By covering the body with the tarp,
Okay.
the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless.
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the of course it didn't get dirty.
No, that's wrong. Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it.
True.
Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh!
Fair.
Yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Why was camouflage?
What if,
Blood.
after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he
True.
pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
Oh my god, what does that mean? Wait, is that why? Oh no.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So the victim sliced up a chicken and used chicken blood to cover things up.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man,
Ugh.
that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body. The coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
Oh.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
Boy.
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And it's been fall back on me again. But why? Why's Go trying to entrap me? I don't understand. This guy's dead body.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
No.
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right?
Oh boy, if I only get back
According to
to
the
me,
Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Yep. Here we go.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
Couldn't swear I happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious! Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Stay air that for now. Should be make it clear. I have to put out the murdering one. I'm not the killer.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it!
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
No, that knife no more. No way.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it!
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with...
What a horrible man you are, Makoto. The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it!
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question.
Shoot.
You took that knife and...
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
I want to go to fight with I want to go to fight with their body.
The knife we found lodged...
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of it.
If he did have that knife before,
That seals it! Just because I had the knife, that automatically makes...
well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
I
So
keep
there's no
pressing the wrong
question.
button.
You took that knife...
What a horrible man you are, Makoto. The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, that seals it.
Just because I had the knife, that automatically makes me...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
Shoot!
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that, that seals it! Just because I had the... that automatically...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
There we go.
No, that's wrong! Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp. In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
Chicken blood, remember? Yes, that's still time.
I got it! The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. Totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
Yep.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. it kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic-level spontaneous combustion!
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
I got it!
Backwards.
After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma.
The
It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Yep.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
Ryuko also killed the victim. He needs to concentrate. Okay, let's see here.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Oh, I'll look afterwards. I like that.
Explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that... That happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right?
No.
And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other...
Oh, yeah. According to... That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of...
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be
The
determined.
explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Another one.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't
It can't be in
Oh, yeah.
the
That's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that,
The victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Okay, thank goodness.
Then shall we continue
the debate? The victim's
fatal injury has yet to be determined.
No, that's wrong.
So basically, she got bought.
Mukuro
very
died
hard.
because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon?
The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks.
Hard.
I bet you just hit me with a metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground, and spit on it.
Girl, you're dark as hell.
I feel the same way! Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
The real murder weapon? The duct tape? No, shit.
Shoot!
I honestly thought that was a good idea. They gonna take an arrow, I guess? Cause it said metal. It was like titanium. So
Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow. That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not back-talking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
what are you done? So one thing about that weapon. What secret?
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Talking back to Master! You have no right!
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker. I have no doubt that was the murder
Are
weapon.
you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the...
Well, because in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
No, that's wrong.
Yeah.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another
What, the duct
weapon?
tape?
Inside the dojo locker, We also
Could
found
never
a balled up
exist, yeah.
wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Man, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Were you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all. Remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
Boy. I have everything.
I got
The
it!
key.
The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the... This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was
Boy.
just protecting you.
What?
You protecting me? That means she knows I was being attacked. And she came to our rescue. Could that be when she means Kyoko? She killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait, I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
What? I didn't know better than anyone? What's that mean?
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than any-
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly what I'm not the killer. You should understand that more.
Byakuya,
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
No, don't do there.
Is that what you're...
You stated
Damn,
you
I hate
said
you.
I hid the evidence and then left the locker key in my own room. But could I really have done that?
Those words you just...
Exactly. I'm not the killer. You should understand.
Byakuya,
Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that
you aren't the culprit.
No,
Here we
it's
go.
wrong. If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room
Why not?
because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see.
True.
So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room,
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
it would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's actually true. There's a clear contradiction to what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. But this is just like her. Trying to say it was some desperate lie. Does you not feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? What's it do with him age what Kyoko said earlier? The trap. So the trap the mastermind laid to us. The mystery of the school. That's my trap. The mastermind trying to trap Kyoko? But what is actually true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I? The mastermind's trap? The picture of Muroko and Kyoko killed him? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows the lie. Oh, who can expose it? But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? That's my trap. Do I do? I have already here now whether or not it's supposed to apply. Okay, so I know, so here's the one moment where I feel like that if I pursue a lie, then if I pursue a lie, then basically Kyoko's going to get bowled out and be like positive following after my trap. If I let it go, then we'll basically we're going to be out of suspects and we won't even know, we still have any idea who the culprit is. I mean, honestly, if he says it's a trap, I don't think it's a trap. Ain't my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she'll kill someone. You had to assume someone that you mastermind tried to kill Kyoko.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you?
I kinda do.
Lucaro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
This has to be all. This trial is basically set
Time's
up
up!
to basically take
Class
out
trial's
Kyoko.
all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
When did the class trial ever have a time limit?
What?
Excuse me?
Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
Yeah, when did the class trial ever... First Goku is tossed out of nowhere. And Vasui showed up dead. Don't know the class trial where basically like nobody knows who the killer is, so we have no leads and no options, barely. With only Toei Makoto, who is obviously not the killer. And then suddenly they say, oh, time's up. Like, when the class trial ever had time limits? That doesn't make sense. The only time when the time limits come to like it's in the game where we're trying to like make our arguments and stuff. When did a time limit ever appear in a class trial? What kind of fucking bullshit is this?
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you.
Voting time?
Since when did... I guess like... I don't know... Huh? I'm not the only one confused, right? What the hell is this bullshit?
Now, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
This is bullshit. It was all set up. It was all set up. What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. It's all your fault. Hey, well, you're wrong. You got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone. Good job.
Yep.
Yep, they got it right. No, it's not true. That doesn't make any sense. This whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
It makes perfect sense.
Shing!
It's there at all. It's like all the other class trials. I'm going to end the same way.
Chills!
It's gotta be a hard time of
Chills!
thinking. Not doing punishment. Wait, why do I... Kyoko?
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
This is bullshit. This is all set up and now I'm just going to get fucking killed. This doesn't feel right. Oh, bro, this was brutal. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate it. Dear God, tell you, Bruno. After school lesson. You know, not in the cold shoes, I'll probably be shaking myself. Know what the fuck is behind me. God, I need help. Help! Help! What alter ego? What's that? Oh, it stopped. And there I go. So did I still technically die, or?
What?
Huh? What is this? What's going on? Hey, what's that? Yeah, it has to be.
This
Alter
is...
ego. Alter ego? Is this what that stupid bio, that stupid guy? It's a planet way invaded my network. Damn it all to hell! I don't believe this.
It would seem...
You think his folly made miscalculation? No, he was calculating at the very beginning.
What the heck?
What's with that?
In other words...
Want to say that you still underestimated us. What are you telling you already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pitch, isn't it? As soon as I was gone now, got it? It's so that Makoto. Man, they gonna smash a flat. We never gonna see him again. He went to where Garmin Steel Pit. So why isn't he better special punishment? But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring a special recipe. Bring it to the entire world. He's still going on about this. He's gone? Hey Kyoko, what's the meaning of all this? So what the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay, we're not the ones to be trapped this time.
In other words...
Now it's time for the mastermind. Now the mastermind is snared.
What did you say?
What are you talking about?
So...
You understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. Odd. The master has the highest that was supposed to stay that entire world. Why am I back to the beginning? They created for a year. It's whole nation. Yeah, I'm all the way back to the beginning. What the hell? Odd. Ugh. What? Where am I? Well, hey, what's the top of the hardwood desk? My fight felt heavy. Maybe we were in the middle of some boy class or whatever. But I was sleeping just now. Yeah, before. Yeah. Finally our mind and our body started to come back together again, and then I was awake. Or was it just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. No, this is a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. I was in a vast dark cavern with the barest hint of light seeping in. Trying to pile higher all across the area. This is a kind of underground garbage pit. Heck of a situation to find myself in. That was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck here until I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not the way my good friend went to save me. I know too well what happened. Alter Ego saved me. It used up the last little bit of strength to do it. So I can't give up now, for myself and for my friend. It was that pursuit of survival began. First I was to start looking for a way out of here. That's so froggy in a tank. Maybe I think so to see what's down here. It's locked. Wait, how to push kids? Oh, damn bud. Yeah, here's gonna be that easy. Yeah, I'll get anytime soon. I started looking around for food. Plenty of food here was all washing. That was pointless too. Next I searched for water. How can I be sure? Look at the drink. Maybe I could drink, which was all a bad idea. Again, pointless. I got blocked from all sides. I don't have to give up. Because I'm still alive. Alone why? I'll never give up. After that product question, next I started to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. Now I only want to preserve what little stuff I had left after not being able to eat or drink. Can't be sure, but I think it was a full day had passed. And all day was sleep. It's like a wave was a kind of sign because of the fall of the sky. However, what fell of the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. What the? The straight side appears by side isolated, driving me away. I thought why the power guard Joseph followed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell down from above. What kind of bed? This trash? I think it's just like that over there. Come down with me.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash? Rude. Before she emerged the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells...
This place smells awful. Kyoko? You're like doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I really hear that, Kyoko. You got a bit of garbage in here. Oh. So you had a quick sharp shake to get rid of the trash. Then face me again. First, ask something for you. Go ahead, eat it. We can talk once you finish. Thank you. Hey, bread and water. We're gonna set it in my mouth and make its way toward my stomach. Phew, that really hit the spot. Now I got I need to keep going. So you start giving up then? Of course not. After all, the fact that he go for all is all I'm good at. Well, that's not a bad thing to be good at. So, what are you doing here? Now, Kyoko, why'd you come here to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debit, or no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you know I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
Even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that, you didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not to make excuses. There's a reason I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why did I survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I had to survive...
In other words...
is so I could do what I came to school to do. What? I may have to continue to come to Host Peak for one very important reason. So you had somebody to come to Host Peak?
Indeed.
That's right. At least I did what? What? Until recently, I forgot about what. You forgot? But that's... Yeah. Dan, is it really true? You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to us as soon as we arrived at school? First thing? You told me when you fainted, right? I fainted when I woke up, I was trapped.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation from myself, a disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on now, at a point Amelia was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I came to school, and I couldn't remember what my boss's ability was. But what made me forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine a happened chance. It seems just too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think it was my positive the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they want to do that? There's only one way they come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Sometimes they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean somehow I may have made connections to the mystery of the school and the mastermind. Which is why I had to get them back. That's why I've been investigating myself this whole time. But what you say is true, why do you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If we did that and it all worked as one, the mastermind would know us right away. Plus, there's always a chance the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Don't make too big a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But it is a possibility, but we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us. If she believed that, then of course you could trust anyone with her. In this case, it only makes sense that she will look into the missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there's a limit to what I could do myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among anyone, you're at least likely to be the mastermind. Not just for intuition, but... Let's see. Your intuition was right though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could be the mastermind.
I... understand. I should... understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's... to stay here.
It's like you asked before, but why did this happen? Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. Nothing happened. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Yeah, no, I still trust you, you know. It's just I'm not used to rely on others.
Correct.
I don't ever actually help right away, so I understand you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think it's just her personality. So how did it turn out? You remember anything?
So...
I think there's still a lot to remember, at the very least. I was finding to recall my purpose and my ability. Yeah, my ability, what anyone should have known me for. I'm the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hospital Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. I had to find someone? Who?
So...
Well, it was the headmaster of Hospital Academy. The headmaster? Why do you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. What?
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child, and it turns out he became the headmaster of Host Peak Academy. Kyoko's dad is Host Peak's headmaster? And that explains... Most Ego told us how he thought the headmaster was involved. Oh.
No matter what?
So
Kyoko... So that's why Kyoko was actually really serious when he said something about the headmaster. My memory had come back at that point. When you said that, I felt strange. It made perfect sense now, so our whole purpose was to coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
Listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster was the mastermind, but I didn't say that would detect him. I always said what I felt I seen I stuck to the headmaster's room. Then why did you see in there?
So...
They would have been ransacked. The shelves were a mess, the desk drawers dumped on the floor. The only clue is that someone who didn't know what anything it was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
Now my son said yes, and it confirmed my suspicion. I saw the investigate the second floor of the door and she used the key I found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout entirety of Host Peak Academy. I found in the headmaster's room along with Mukuro's profile on that key. The master on the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for facility use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. I feared the headmaster was some kind of private room there. I assumed that was true, the room would most likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And as my father remembered, I made out personal to find the owner of that room. So you went to see a headmaster really did have a private room there.
However...
Once I got there, I noticed the second floor of the door still have 8 pairs of monitors. So what was it like, that part of school, I mean? It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the more I saw it, I realized, whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than what we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain. You need to see it for yourself. I'm sure you get a chance soon enough. The saga must be important. And really ominous. Okay.
However...
What's going on? I do a Muku Gusaba, doesn't it?
However...
To be perfectly clear, I know you killer. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means anybody you and me had an alibi. So then who did kill her?
Anyway...
I say we should have mastermind directly involved. To begin with, the point of class trial of Muku Gusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I saw a kid disappear, and in retaliation, you wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was... the mastermind duty could interfere directly. You mean because of school regulation?
That's right.
Exactly. Yeah, that.
In other words...
The mastermind is adamant about the rules, and without rule of play, they could step in. They could kill me themselves. They try to use a class trial to do it. That I could step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like... that is somehow bound to school regulation.
Hey.
There's one other like the point of Muku Saba. What's that? The one where Muku may have not been the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... the attack? I can hear them, you know. The place is a god of death. What? I hear the god of death as he moves. The owl really draws me in cases like this.
Anyway...
But exactly what happened with you. I was in the door and I suddenly said a dread. I looked down the stairwell. I saw a white shadow across the corner. I get chased right away. As I found it, I saw a shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran to your room. I saw what was happening. I didn't be immediately, of course.
However...
that wasn't anything, of course. I felt that without like to... where that matter silent till the end of dead.
Correct.
And it burned with the sky, and it just keep wandering in my room. I don't have to work at the mastermind until you use the class trial to eliminate me. You know what I mean? Whoever killed Mukuro was also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad, true. It means the mastermind can kill whoever they want to feel like it. Wait, doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And that is Mukuro. They need to classify to kill me, but they seem ready to kill you in their room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words...
it means that Mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more she would figure out Mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? It's not that Mukuro the ultimate despair that she's dead. But only ultimate despair is one person. It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, ultimate despair seems to implicate that whoever caused that event. You talked
That's
about
right.
what happened a year ago. The very most awful, most tragic event in human history. A tragedy. Where possible that? Is the ultimate
It
despair?
would seem...
The despicable group whose only purpose is motivation comes to despair.
Indeed.
And there, make no mistake, the rules you all evil that's forced to go do this. That is the ultimate despair, and that's our real enemy. Well then. So that equals right now, oh, nice. But yeah, that equals, whoever killed Mukuro Igasaba is basically the mastermind. And they usually use that whole class trial to try to, like, they tried to kill Makoto, but that failed, so they basically went to Mukuro Igasaba, had the murder right there, and tried to take out Kyoko, so that way the mystery of school can never be found out what's going on. But since Kyoko didn't get busted and Makoto did not get killed, that basically means, yeah, the mastermind's backed itself to a corner. So I think we're now reaching the end game. I would want to play a little longer, but I think I'll just end the stream right here. I guess next time we'll go through chapters. I'm gonna go to the final chapter of the game, and I guess it might be the final chapter. I feel like it is because we're getting to the end of the game. But yeah, the final chapter we're basically going like probably uncover the truth for the master. However, what the frick is going on with the school? But yeah, I'm gonna save here, and I'm just gonna dip out right now. You guys have a good night. See ya.